Serving up a warm dish of the Triads culinary fare, here's your weekly helping of food, news, and views. This is the man who ate the town.
Hey folks, and welcome to episode 143 of the Man Who Ate the Town podcast. This is for the week of March 2nd through the 8th, 2020. My name is Tim Beeman.
My name's Ray Morgan.
And we're opening the recipe box. We're recording this episode of the Man Who Ate the Town in the Less Desirable Studios in the lab at Industry Hill. These are only my opinions based on my experiences. As with any review that I post, it is my hope that you will visit the establishment and formulate your own opinions and views of the restaurant. No review is ever meant as a means to denigrate or belittle the good work most of the restaurants are trying to do. This is an opinion of what I did or didn't like and how I saw things. This is not a reflection of the overall quality or vision of the company. Pardon the pun, take all this with a grain of salt. Now,
the attorney just shook his head and smiled and said, yeah, all right, got the disclaimer in.
Well, and even that being said, I don't want this to constitute as an actual review. This is more of an experience explanation.
Okay.
Because truthfully, true reviews from people who like to at least think they know what they're talking about, and yes, I do claim myself as one of those, should only be done after the restaurant's been open a while and you've had it a couple of times to let them get some kinks worked out and to make sure that what you had was not a fluke, right? What, good or bad.
Right. Unless it's someplace like Yamas where they blew you away first time you walked in the door.
Right, exactly. And more on that in a minute. So the Young Cardinal Cafe is now open.
Yes.
This is Adam Andrews' newest venture, open at the corner of 4th and Spruce. And it has a fantastic menu, and Chef David Swing is doing some great work over there. According to their Facebook page, the restaurant is open from 7 to 3. I think it's actually Tuesday through Saturday, and 8 to 3 on Sundays. But they also reopen Thursday through Saturday nights from 9 p.m. to 2:30 a.m. So
finally a late night place that we've been screaming for.
Yes, and it serves breakfast, so that's
nice.
That's a good thing. They have hash browns that you can add stuff to, like onions, mushrooms, pico de gallo, cheese, pinto, chorizo, and much more. They have a build-your-own 3-egg omelet that you can add to what they call additionals, like cheese, meat, or veggies, and then each item after that is an upcharge. But it comes with your choice of grits, gravy, or hash browns, or a toast or biscuit. And speaking of biscuits, they have all the standard sausage, bacon, fried pork, tenderloin, country ham, and so on. You can add cheese and egg for an additional charge. Benedicts come with, you can get it either Canadian bacon, pulled pork, corn and black bean cakes, or ground beef patties. And if you add cheese, there's a modest, there's like $1.25 or something to it, but I have never wanted to add cheese to a Benedict. The Benedicts come with 2 poached eggs, toasted English muffin, house-made hollandaise, and is served with grits, gravy, or hash browns. Then there's the Young Cardinal Breakfast, which is made of 2 eggs with any style, with grits, gravy, or hash browns, toast or biscuit, and you can add all the standard proteins, and then some like bologna or pulled pork, apple chicken sausage, Virginia baked ham, chorizo, or even liver mush if that's your thing.
Ooh, no thank you.
Yeah, I'll pass. Pancakes, French
now,
toast.
the chorizo got my attention.
Yeah, I like chorizo a lot. Pancakes, French toast, or waffles with a plethora of additions available, like chocolate chips. Hey, there you go. Nutella, candied pecans, blueberries, bananas, s'mores. You can have it taste like a cinnamon roll or have it with bananas Foster. There are salads, but if you know me, I'm not going to spend a lot of time talking about salads. Soups of the day, avocado toasts of the day, chicken and grits, a vegetarian power bowl with couscous, quinoa, avocado, and fruit, a breakfast burrito, Hawaiian Monte Cristo sliders, and my favorite, the huevos rancheros. And there are sandwiches like the killer grilled cheese, which when I was there, There was a lady sitting behind me who was having a When Harry Met Sally moment over this sandwich. and I almost said I'll have what she's having, but I'd already ordered. They have a prime rib sandwich. They have the Cardinal Cuban. They have a corn and black bean quote unquote burger. I just don't think you should be able to call it a burger if there's no meat in it. An actual burger, the YC burger they call it, and a Chicago dog done with Chicago style, except instead of pickles they're using relish. So I went on opening day after our meeting on Friday morning. I didn't go at that time. I actually went to the studio, came here to the studio. I had a podcast I had to edit, and then I went to Zesto's, and Zesto's had a problem with the truck. Actually, in all honesty, the truck problem was the truck was at Young Cardinal. Because I saw Algernon as I was leaving, and I said, dude, I'm doing something I've never done before. He says, what? I said, I'm leaving without eating here.
That's wild. You don't do that.
I don't do that, and I will go today to make up for that. But I went there opening day, and then the next day with Stephanie, I had the huevos rancheros with 2 pancakes both times. And the huevos rancheros is huge. Hold on, I'll tell you what's on that. And pancakes. And both of those together for mine Friday when I went by myself was only $14.
Really? That's not bad.
No, not bad at all. The prices here are fantastic.
For all that food?
Yeah. So the huevos rancheros is 2 eggs, your style. I get mine over medium. Pintos, and I don't really care for pintos, but I think they're needed on this. Pulled pork, corn tortillas, pico de gallo, avocado, queso fresco, and chipotle cream. And the pancakes that I got on Friday were rather large. The ones I got on Saturday were medium. But the flavors were really, really good. I usually don't do full-on reviews, until I've had a few of those visits, like I said, and they have time to work kinks out. But this was a fantastic experience. So we don't even have to call this a review. We'll just say that I loved my 2 visits and thought the food was fresh and nothing was from a can. And I look forward to visiting them often. I'm not a late night person. I'm not usually out whenever the people are out doing that. So
crack at 8 o'clock. Ooh, gotta get home.
Yeah. Well, I'm not that bad, but I just don't like going out like that anymore. I'm aged out, I think.
Yeah.
And
I feel you there.
But they're again located at 424 West 4th Street, and I tell you, if you get a chance to go.
So not a review, but a recommendation.
A recommendation. There will be an official review later, which will probably be just everything I've said. Because it's not only not an official review because of the presumed or volunteered criteria that I put forth, that I just think it's proper, but damn, it was good.
They're doing that well.
They
already.
They are doing that quite well. Also, this past Saturday was the late winter spring version of the Big Sit Fest with the Mac and Cheese Festival. I was a quote unquote mystery judge, although anyone who knew who I was knew why I was there. Especially when I was hanging out with Michael Hastings the whole time.
Yeah. First clue. Who's the judges? They might be the food critics over here.
There might be, and Smitty from Smitty's Notes, and the 3 of them together. Who are the judges? Everybody judged, but there was 3 mystery judges, I guess. The turnout was great, though. They had 13 or so Macs to try, a slew of North Carolina breweries and North Carolina spirits and wines, too. It was at the new, I say new, the building's older than dirt, but the reimagined Benton Convention Center I had Max from Yamas. I had from Spruce Street Garden, from Chin Chin, Senor Bravo, Jeffrey Adams, Foothill, Sir Winston, Campus Gas, Smoked, SMOK''D. It's a new barbecue restaurant in Greensboro. Sixth and Vine, Bibbs, The Catherine, and Butcher and Bull.
Wow. You got around.
Yeah, I did. And here's the thing. I had all that after going to the Young Cardinal and having that damn huevos rancheros and those 2 pancakes. As I ordered it, I'm sitting there saying to myself, you'll be sorry. And I just did it anyway, and I ate every bit, didn't leave not nary a piece of pico de gallo left on that damn plate. And then less than 2 hours later, I was eating 13 different Macs and drinking a lot of beer and spirits. I will say that I could have spent the entire day just sitting there with Old Nick Williams spirits all day.
Really?
Yeah.
That was your favorite moment, spot?
They do good work there. Especially now, when they first got started, I'm done with, from my time doing Sipping NC, the Art of Drinking podcast. The first guest we ever had was Zeb and Matt Cousins, who, along with their dads, own Old Nick Williams. And I'm done with white liquor. The corn, the Carolina whiskey, which is basically just legal moonshine. It all tastes the same no matter who's making it. But their bourbon and their rums are fantastic. The rum is the smoothest tasting alcoholic beverage straight up that I've ever tasted. There's no burn, and it just tastes great. And that's the dark rum. The light rum tastes like butter. And it's just so good. Creamy.
And that's fairly new for them, is it not?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because they've only been around for, 3 years? So,
sort of. There's a lot of history there.
Well, the what's going on now is only been 3 years. Yeah, they are America's oldest forgotten distillery. Good story there. You go look, for anybody who's interested, look up sippingnc.ws and find the very first episode of that podcast. It's still there. It will continue to still be there, and we're going to relaunch it soon. And you hear the story, hear Matt and Zeb talk about it, and it's just a cool thing. Cugino Forno is planning to open a location in Clemens this spring.
Nice.
I didn't realize that there's already 2 of them. There's one in Greensboro too. I just didn't know it. This one will be next to Abbott's Frozen Custard. The Clemens location will not sell gelato like the others do because, they don't want to compete with their new neighbors, right?
Right.
But as
nice.
I don't really
Being
have
a citizen.
Yeah, I don't have a whole lot of information on that yet. So whenever I do find out, I'll talk about it here. Carrabba's has 2 wine dinners coming up. One is on the 17th, which is St. Patrick's Day, and the other is the following Wednesday. And this is $45 per person. Starting with the Spadino de Mar, which is shrimp and sea scallops coated in Italian breadcrumbs and wood grilled and topped with their lemon butter sauce. And that's paired with the Martini and Rossi sparkling rosé.
Well, that sounds good.
Yeah. The Tuscan strawberry salad is next, paired with the Saint M Riesling, which is, I believe, Chateau Saint Michel. It's one of their brands. Just so you know what's on the salad, it's mixed greens, fresh strawberries, toasted pine nuts, red onion, tomatoes, and crumbled gorgonzola in a strawberry vinaigrette. Then the Pollo Rosa Maria, which is one of my favorite things on the menu there. grilled chicken stuffed with fontina cheese and prosciutto, topped with mushrooms and their basil lemon butter sauce. It's served with grilled asparagus, but I'll leave that off. And it's paired with Pion de Nova Super Tuscan. I'm not exactly sure what that is, but I would say it's probably white because it is chicken, and generally chicken goes best with white wine. Mm-hmm. Then the Kecker Limoncello bread pudding.
Oh.
Warm brioche bread with rich, creamy custard topped with vanilla ice cream and drizzled with Il Tramonto Limoncello liqueur. And even that's paired with the Rondo Prosecco.
Wow. That would be good. You didn't mention chocolate in the dessert, but that still sounds really good.
Yeah. Sometimes you just don't have to have chocolate, I think.
Okay, stop speaking heresy and sacrilege. I just won't stand for that. But you're right. Occasionally, you don't have to have chocolate. Occasionally.
Yeah. You don't have to have it.
No.
But it is recommended. The raised daily recommended allowance.
Yes. Every day there should be some amount of chocolate in your life. Makes your whole life better.
Well, I don't generally talk about fast food places on this show because
unless you're denigrating them.
Well, I'm not denigrating. This is not denigrating. This is just a little bit of information because I know people who listen to this sometimes still have to eat or do eat fast food, right?
It does happen.
Today, the 2nd of March, is the launch date for Wendy's breakfast menu.
I noticed that they were getting ready to do breakfast.
Now, they've tried it in the past because I remember a couple of times going to Wendy's and it was not good. It was the first thing I saw and the only thing I saw, and I had to have it. But the full menu consists of 9 sandwiches, including a morning edition of its famed Baconator. There are 3 new sandwiches served on croissant, biscuits, and classic buns with eggs and meat. And it's also debuting a maple bacon chicken croissant and a honey butter chicken biscuit. New side dishes include potato wedges and sausage gravy. And there's a new blend of coffee and an iced frosty chino that they're coming out with. I'm not going to really go into a whole lot more detail than that, but so Wendy's today, it's over now, but tomorrow you can, because I'm sure it only goes to 11:30. It's not like McDonald's, which is open every day, 24 hours of breakfast all day stuff. But speaking of McDonald's, let's go into food holidays.
Well, let's.
Is
there a McDonald's connection to the food holidays?
There is. And today is the 2nd of March, the 3/2. In response to Wendy's launching their long-awaited, quote-unquote, long-awaited breakfast menu, today, McDonald's named National Egg McMuffin Day. And they're giving away Egg McMuffins all day.
You're kidding.
You have to download the app and you order it on the app so they can keep track of how many who's getting it. But they're giving away Egg McMuffins all day.
Wow.
So hurry down and get yours.
Breakfast sandwich.
It's not mine. I am not a fan. I like the sausage McMuffins without eggs. So it's just the sausage and cheese on the English muffin. I guess.
I like the Canadian bacon.
Yeah.
That's a favorite of mine. And then, I'm not saying anything, out of turn. I like the Egg McMuffin.
Sure. No. And I'm not, as much crap as I talk about fast food, I'm not talking crap here. Do you know where the Egg McMuffin came from?
I have no idea.
There was a store manager who was trying to make an Eggs Benedict for his restaurant to sell.
Right.
And of course, there's no hollandaise on this. But if you think about it, the egg, the Canadian bacon, and the English muffin, that's what an Egg McMuffin is.
Yeah.
So minus the hollandaise sauce, it's an Eggs Benedict.
Huh.
So it's not poached eggs as much as it is. I mean, a lot. You worked at McDonald's, you know this.
I
These
did.
are these are real eggs. It's not some fake flimsy stuff that
Yeah.
you know. A lot of people think because they're shaped like that, they're just pouring them into a circular mold. That's all it is. So
That's it. Yeah,
Yeah,
that's exactly right.
and I see nothing wrong with them. I just don't want to eat them myself. But as much as I don't talk about fast food, and sometimes I talk junk just to talk junk, but I really have no problem with fast food places. They serve their purpose, and when I was eating it, I was a 3-a-dayer, 7
Yep.
days a week, and that was my diet and or lack thereof. But yeah, so get on your app if you're listening today and go get your free Egg McMuffin today. It's
I may
also
have to run out here in a minute.
it's also well, if I ate that stuff, I certainly would do it too.
Free food.
You know, I don't turn that down.
Yeah.
Today is also National Banana Cream Pie Day. And I like banana cream pie.
That's a good thing. Yes.
On the second, in 1799, the first U.S. Weights and Measures Law was passed by Congress. Actually, it did not set any standards, but rather it required the survey of each port to test and correct the instruments and weights used to calculate duties on imports. So they made sure they got their money, right?
Well, yeah.
Basically, each surveyor was on his own in setting the standards to be tested. And I don't think it would really matter if you knew what your tare was. Tare being empty, right? So
Right.
if you know what the scale is at 0, wherever 0 may be, it's still not going to be off as long as it's calibrated to a standard.
Right.
I guess that's what they're trying to do there. On the second, in 1863, Congress authorized a track width of 4 foot 8.5 inches as the standard for the Union Pacific Railroad, which would become the standard width for most of the world. Have you done a lot of traveling by train?
I have not done a lot of traveling by train. I have some, and it's, in my opinion, it's fine for short trips. But if you're trying to do an overnight, it's,
Oh yeah, no, I don't. I've never done it overnight, but I have been. We've been to Europe twice, and that's the way to go.
Right.
Train is the way to go for everything. But
yeah, that's a very different scenario.
oh yeah, Amtrak here is the only passenger train really that does anything. But over there,
Yeah.
there's a lot of companies that do it, and they do it well. But I was the first time we went from Amsterdam to Brussels and then Brussels to Paris. And then the second time, and those were all the longest any of those was trips was about an hour and 10, 15 minutes.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah, nothing. I mean,
that's easy.
all of Europe is easy to traverse within a day. Now, when we got married in Edinburgh and then went to London, and that was a 4-hour ride. But we were in first class, had breakfast served to us. The only thing that I didn't like was every time we passed another train, it sounded like we'd crashed because the wind.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit! And every time we would go by,
Yeah.
so after about the first 3 times, and you got used to it. But when you're eating and it sounds like you're getting ready to just swallow your fork, yeah. So
I took a trip from North Carolina to South Florida by train, and got a sleeper car. Did the whole, overnight thing.
yeah,
Man, it is impossible to sleep when every hour you're pulling into another city and the whole thing is stopping and the lights come on outside. Yeah, I did not sleep well.
yeah.
And the sleeper cars, I mean, they're only about as long as a twin bed.
Yeah.
And just slightly wider than a twin bed. The whole car.
So you
your
can
whole
like,
compartment.
so you can like shimmy your way across the wall to it to get
Yeah.
into bed. Yeah,
Well, they also, your toilet is in there
yeah, yeah.
with you that they call. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I don't want to do that again. I'll just fly.
Yeah, flying is my favorite. But in Europe, the train is really easy because there's really there are a couple of long haul train rides, but most of it is just a few hours, and it's I don't even know if they run overnight other than the ones that are traveling long distance. In 1903, on the 2nd, the 12-story, 416-room Martha Washington Hotel opened in New York City. It was the first hotel exclusively for women, but men could eat in the restaurant. I don't know that that would go over.
Can't stay there.
I don't know if that'd go over well today.
There might be some issues with that.
I mean, equality and all that stuff. I mean, you got to take equality on both ends, not just one.
Exactly.
Yeah, equality is equal.
But, I can appreciate why women might appreciate having a man-free zone for a while.
No, I can totally understand that. I like a man-free zone, too. In 1935, on this date, which makes that, what? 80,
a while back.
85 years? 85?
At least a couple days ago.
Yeah, anyway, Porky Pig made his debut in the animated short I Haven't Got a Hat. And in 1984, Ray Kroc's first McDonald's franchise restaurant in Des Plaines, Illinois, closed. It had opened for business on April 15th, 1955. In 1989, on the 2nd, a phone call to the U.S. Embassy in Santiago, Chile, begins a chain of events that results in an 11-day embargo of Chilean fruit. The anonymous phone call and another one on March 9th warns that red flame grapes on the way to the United States have been injected with cyanide. Over 2 million crates of Chilean fruit is impounded, and 20,000 Chilean food workers lose their jobs. Consumers in the United States and several other countries stopped eating grapes of any kind for a month. No real evidence of any contamination was ever found. So someone was playing a trick and cost 20,000 people jobs and probably billions of dollars, really, even in 1989.
Wow, that's crazy.
In 2011, on the 2nd, the U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service declared the eastern cougar officially extinct. And I don't know about that because I thought I saw a couple of them at the Mac and Cheese Festival.
Different kind of cougar.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's the eastern cougar. That's what I was thinking. On the 3rd, it's National Mulled Wine Day.
A good day.
I like mulled wine very briefly. It needs to be one of those, okay, I've had it, I'm done.
Yeah. Next, give me a beer.
And it's always on the 3rd of March is always Irish Whiskey Day. Why, you may ask?
Why would it be on the 3rd of March that it would be Irish whiskey?
It's Irish whiskey is triple distilled and aged for at least 3 years. So triple. There we go. Irish whiskey.
In the 3rd month.
Yes. Also, on the 3rd, to go along with your Egg McMuffin, it's Canadian Bacon Day.
Ooh, yeah.
And if Canadian bacon's not your thing, it's also National Cold Cuts Day.
I'm good with that. I like cold cuts.
I do too. They're high in sodium, but they're still delicious.
I mean, we keep cold cuts in the house. I mean, it's an easy kind of meal to have ready.
In 1634, on the 3rd, either the 3rd or 4th, it's hard to tell, Samuel Cole supposedly opened the first tavern in Boston. In 1923, the first issue of Time was published. In 1939, the college fad of swallowing live goldfish supposedly began on campus at Harvard. And I thought those folks were smart.
Yeah, no thank you. No interest in feeling that thing go swimming all the way through.
Yeah.
No thank you. I just can't picture doing that.
No. I have never wanted to do it, and never wanted to do anything bad enough that wanted me to do it. So, yeah, no.
Yeah, I've done some crazy stuff, but not that.
The 4th of March is National Pound Cake Day. And
Pound it. Yeah.
Yeah. Or the day that Samuel Cole supposedly opened the tavern in Boston.
Depending on who you want to believe.
Yeah. Let's say he did it like at 11:39 on the 3rd and went into the 4th. Let's go with that.
It crossed a couple of days there. It was a big deal.
On the 4th, supposedly in 1792, oranges were introduced to Hawaii. In 1837, Chicago was incorporated as a city. The population was 4,200. Today, it's probably well over 5 million.
They've got more than that on a couple of blocks.
Yeah. They have almost that much in the homeless people who live in the little nooks and crannies of the stores.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
In 1994, I don't usually talk about these things, but he was a good one. John Candy died.
Oh.
He was a Canadian comedian.
In a van down by the river.
No,
that was somebody else.
That's Chris
Farley?
Chris Farley, who died on December 18th. I know that because that's my ex-wife's birthday.
Oh,
Yeah.
you would remember that odd date.
Yeah. I'm pretty good with dates. The 5th of March is Cheese Doodle Day.
Also known as Orange Finger Day.
Yes. Are you a fan of, I think I asked you this last year, but I'm going to ask you this year, are you the fan of the puffy kind or the crunchy kind?
Yes.
Yes, me too.
Generally the crunchy ones more than the puffies, but
Yeah.
I like them both.
Yeah. It's also National Absinthe Day.
We talked about that one.
Yeah.
I remember that.
Yeah. I've never had true absinthe. I've had like American absinthe, which is not the same. There's no wormwood in that. On the 5th, in 1558, Francisco Fernandez supposedly introduced smoking tobacco to Europe. 1963, on the 5th, Arthur Spud Mellon of Whammo received a patent for the hula hoop.
I think that it was only in 63 that they had put a patent for the hula hoop.
Yeah. And
I
it
really
started,
thought it would have been much further back.
Well, it first sold in 58, but they patented it in 63.
Yeah. Once again, they were right on it. Let's get that done now.
Yeah. Let's see how it goes. In 1990, on the 5th, 8 Canadian flour mills are charged with rigging prices for food aid amounting to $500 million over 12 years. Yeah. The 6th, something I'm sure you're not interested in, it's White Chocolate Cheesecake Day.
Yeah, not terribly interested because, it's not really chocolate.
That's true.
But it is cheesecake, and I do like cheesecake.
Yeah. I bet it would be good white chocolate, too.
Mm-hmm.
For me,
Probably
because
would be.
I do like white chocolate. It's also National Frozen Food Day, and we'll find out why here in a minute. It's also Oreo Cookie Day, and we'll find out why here in just right now. Let's do it now. Nabisco debuted the Oreo cookie on this date in 1912.
Wow. So it's been over 100 years that we've been splitting those things open and dunking them.
Yeah, it was about a month before the Titanic sank, so at least those folks got to try Oreos. In 1930, on the 6th, retail frozen foods, Bird's Eye Frozen Foods, go on sale for the first time in a test marketing in Springfield, Massachusetts. Various fruits, vegetables, meat, and fish were offered for sale to see how consumers would react to frozen foods. I believe it went over well. Clarence Birdseye had developed the method used to successfully freeze food on a commercial scale. The test was a resounding success, it says here. On the 6th in 1950, one of my favorite things as a kid, Silly Putty was introduced to the world. You don't know how much I ruined, copying the newspaper, the funnies and stuff.
I was thinking exactly that same thing.
Yep. It was packaged in 1-ounce portions in plastic eggs. It may still be done that way.
I think it is.
In 2012, Rebecca Spate of Dakota City, Nebraska, sold a McDonald's chicken nugget that resembled President George Washington for $8,100 on eBay. She had kept the nugget in her freezer for 3 years before deciding to sell it.
That's just nuts. No, it's chicken.
Hey, speaking of nuts, you know, last
talking
week
about me
we were
again?
no. We were last week we were talking about cashews not being nuts; they were legumes, right?
Right.
Well, it turns out peanuts are also legumes.
Oh.
Because
didn't know
if you think
that.
about it, like peas and beans, they come in pods, right?
Yes.
All those come in pods. So chickpeas and alfalfa, and I was looking that up this morning. So they all come in pods, so they're not actually nuts. They're legumes that are just hard
I did not know.
and so delicious.
But you're right about peanuts. I hadn't thought about it, but yeah, that's how they come
Yep.
in a pot.
Yep. The 7th, which is Saturday, and don't forget on Saturday, if you don't have a digital clock that automatically sets itself, it's time to turn it back, or ahead. Actually, turn it ahead. You spring forward for daylight saving time begins.
Yeah, I'm more likely to spring backward than I am to spring forward.
Well,
Just in general.
just step backward then, or step ahead. Yeah, so I have one clock in my entire existence that I have to two, the one here in the studio, but 2 clocks. Everything else is automatic. It does it itself. My phone, my Samsung watch, my computers, all my computers, the satellites, not satellites, but the streaming services, everything changes itself. On my car, I actually have to turn the daylight savings time on, but it automatically switches once I do.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, my car doesn't do that.
On the 7th of March, it is also National Crown Roast of Pork Day.
Okay.
And National Cereal Day. More on that in a minute. In 1804, John Wedgwood, the son of Josiah Wedgwood of pottery fame, I've never heard of him, but I guess he's famous for it, founded
Wedgwood pottery. I've heard of that.
I've never. Founded the Royal Horticultural Society. In 1854, Charles Miller of St. Louis was issued a patent for the first U.S. sewing machine that could stitch buttonholes.
Oh, big upgrade right there.
Yes. In 1876, on the 7th, Alexander Graham Bell receives a patent for his new invention, the telephone.
Oh, and life got worse after that.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the tell a woman, tell a friend, all that stuff. And on the 7th in 1885, Kansas bans the driving of Texas cattle across its border to protect its farmland and stop the spread of disease from those crazy Texas cattle known as Texas fever. Apparently that was a real thing.
I guess so.
In 1897, Dr. John Kellogg served cornflakes for the first time to his patients at his hospital. I think it was a sanatorium in Battle Creek, Michigan. They wouldn't actually be sold to the public commercially until 1906.
Big change.
Nine
Big
years-
change. Big.
Yeah, 9 years later. In 1914, the Coca-Cola Bottlers Association was formed.
A little over 100 years ago now.
Yeah. And let's see, on the 8th, it's International Women's Day.
Yes. Yes.
I'm a fan of women.
I am too.
Each
Love
year-
women. We need them.
We do. Each year around the world, International Women's Day, or IWD, is celebrated on March 8th. Thousands of events occur not just on this day, but throughout March to mark the economic, political, and social achievements of women. So there you go.
And whoever said that women were the weaker sex was an idiot.
Yeah. For
Didn't
sure.
know any women, clearly.
Yeah. Didn't know any women. It's also on the 8th Peanut Cluster Day.
Oh yeah,
Is that
especially
like,
when you dip them in chocolate.
there you go. No other explanation needed.
Mm-hmm.
On the 8th in 1765, John Hannon, financed by James Baker, began producing one of the first North American-made chocolate products using water power. That was the beginnings of Baker's chocolate. So it wasn't just because Baker's used it; it was named after James Baker,
Family.
who
Interesting.
who actually financed it. On the 8th in 1817, the New York Stock Exchange was founded. I thought that was older.
I would have thought that was much older.
In 1887, Everett Horton of Bristol, Connecticut, received a patent for a telescoping fishing rod. In 1923, on the 8th, the Coca-Cola 6-bottle carton was introduced.
Cool.
In 1927, Norwich Pharmaceutical registered Pepto-Bismol trademark. Pepto-Bismol, of course, provides relief of symptoms due to overindulgence in food and drink, including nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Somebody remembers their commercial.
No, they've redone those commercials now. They like do them like all rap like, and some of them are country square dancing like. Yeah.
Yeah, you can have those.
Yeah, and I don't mind the flavor of Pepto-Bismol. I actually, if I have to take it, I'm like, yum.
Some people really just don't. They get off. Like, oh, I won't take that. Give me something else.
Yeah, I'm like, okay.
If it works.
Yeah, exactly. In 1941, on the 8th, American author Sherwood Anderson supposedly swallowed a toothpick or a swizzle stick while at a cocktail party in the Panama Canal Zone and died of peritonitis.
It's just sad.
Which is peritonitis, I believe, or the parent, whatever it is the lining that protects your innards from your outards.
So it got damaged, and so the outards got into the innards.
It was an infection that got in there.
This one got into the outards.
Yeah, this was interesting to me. On the 8th in 1985, the IRS reported that there were more than 400,000 American millionaires and 13 billionaires.
Wow.
According to Dave Ramsey, who I am not entirely trusting of, as of 2017, there were now over 11 million millionaires. According to Forbes in 2019, there were 609 billionaires in America alone. Of the top 10 billionaires of the world, the U.S. has 7 of them, with Jeff Bezos being the richest man in the world, followed by Bill Gates and Warren Buffett, when he's not wasting away in Margaritaville with his cousin Jimmy. I don't think they're anywhere related, but anyway.
They're not, but that was funny.
Yeah. 3 foreign billionaires follow them, and then rounding out the top 10, Larry Ellison, Mark Zuckerberg, Mike Bloomberg, and Larry Page. Larry Page got it from Alphabet, which is Google. And Larry Ellison is from Oracle.
Ah, okay. Interesting to see where those fortunes have come from in the last 50 years.
Oh, yeah. I mean, those were things that weren't even there. I mean, Berkshire Hathaway was, but Amazon wasn't. In 85, Microsoft was still a baby.
Yeah.
85, I don't even know if Zuckerberg was alive yet. Bloomberg probably.
Even Google didn't show up until
the 2000s.
99.
Was it 99? Okay.
Yeah, it was 99.
Okay.
So, yeah, they weren't even a player then.
Yeah. So, a lot of that fortune was made from ideas that come much later than 1985. Anyway, that's your food, holidays, and history for this week. Special thanks to James Eagler at foodreference.com for making us chuckle, roll our eyes, and feel worthless and weak.
Yeah, we're not one of the world's billionaires.
No, I'm worth about $1 billion, but Not net
Just
worth.
can't get anybody to go ahead and
Yeah.
bite on that transaction.
Yeah, I don't mean net worth. I just mean I'm worth $1 million or $1 billion.
But at least, I
Yeah.
would say, probably 2 or 3. But,
That's right. I'm a commodity. No, I'm not.
well, let's divide you up and sell you into little pieces then.
Yeah, I own stock in him. We'd greatly appreciate if you visited our sponsors like Carrabba's Italian Grill, located at 587 South Stratford Road. Let Daniel demonstrate what a responsible large-scale family of restaurants looks like. The Carrabba's takes the community it serves very seriously, and having a fantastic franchisee like Daniel certainly does not suck. Follow Carrabba's on social media and on Carrabba's.com. Don't forget the wine dinners. I will have a link on the show notes on the blog and website, but the usual suspect of Carrabba's.com/wine dinner right now leads to nothing. But I have a link that you can get to it, and we'll go from there.
Cool.
Washington Perk Provision Company is located at 301 West 4th Street. You'll find a little bit of everything at the Perk. Local fruits and veggies, meat and dairy from local sources. Bingo Bango sodas, which I talked to at the Big Sip this past weekend.
Did you? Cool.
He's trying to get all of his stuff. He's got his equipment ordered, just waiting on it to get here. He's making it in his brother's commercial kitchen, and he told me who his brother was, and I can't remember. Oh, Carolina thing down there in the traffic circle on Marshall Street.
Oh, down at the incubator.
Yeah.
They're on Marshall?
No, I'm not talking. It's on Main Street.
On Main Street.
You know
Okay.
where this traffic circle is on Main Street.
Yes.
Yeah, it's
Just before the
it's,
Y.
It's the bottle shop there.
Oh.
Carolina,
Yeah.
Carolina corks, not corks and taps. Carolina.
Cork and ale?
No. Damn it. I hate when I don't know something.
That happens to me like every day, all day. But that's just me.
Anyway, I don't know. It's over there.
It's over
That's
there.
where he's doing it right now, but he's getting ready to put his stuff in here. They also have at the Perk. Sorry, Perk, for getting off topic on your stuff. Wolfie's custard and much, much more. Washington Perk is better than the convenience store, not quite a grocery store. On Facebook, they are Washington Perk or at WashingtonPerk_DTWS on Instagram. The Humblebee shop is located at 1003 Brookstown Avenue in the west end of downtown. You need to go to Instagram right now and look up what the Humblebee shop has going on. Brittany is whipping up the batter on some delicious desserts, cakes, and muffins, be it regular, vegan, or gluten-free. Humblebee shop wants to challenge your perception of Scratch Made and leave you with an experience you couldn't possibly forget. For more information, follow them on Facebook and Instagram or visit the humblebeeshop.co.
That's SHOPPE.co. Not COM, just CO.
Right. It's co.
Yeah,
Yo.
co.
Like yo, but with a C.
Yo, co.
Well, keep an eye on the blog and this podcast to find out more about food news and happenings around town. If you have any food news, send us an email, tim@themanwhoatethetown.com, or on Facebook, Instagram, or Twitter, Instant Messengers. Like us on Facebook. On Twitter, we are man_who_8thetown. On Instagram, we are man_who_8thetown. And now we invite you to call and leave a voicemail for the podcast. Actually, any podcast on the TLD network. You can call 336-422-6862. That's right, 336-422-NUM. Leave us a voicemail and we'll play it on the podcast. Again, that's 336-422-NUM, 6862.
As in, I have become comfortably numb.
Yes. When I was a child, I had a fleeting glimpse, or caught a fleeting glimpse, out of the corner of my eye. I turned to look.
But it was gone.
I could not put my finger on it. No. All right, anyway. My name's Tim.
My name's Ray.
And we're closing the recipe box. I'm comfortably numb from that. Until next time, thank you for reading. Thank you for listening. Bon appetit. Oh, I forgot to say, while we're here, the 3 that I picked as winners for the mac and cheese. Number 1,
Yeah.
Yamas. Number
Yamas.
2, Senor Bravo. Number
Cool.
3, Sir Winston.
Nice.
So
Nice.
congratulations to Yamas. And they were winners, like I said, last week. I don't know if I said last week because it hadn't happened yet. They were winners of the Downtown Winston-Salem Partnership Excellence Awards, too. So it was easy to make that video because all the food pictures were mine.
As many times as you've been there, you've had a chance to take a picture of like everything on the menu.
Yeah, that's what I meant to say about Yamas whenever I said more about that in a minute. This was as smooth and opening as I've seen since Yamas for Young
Yeah.
Cardinal. So I still needed to say I don't want it to be just because I do that disclaimer it's going to be a bad thing, because it can be good things too. But for anything, just take this with a grain of salt and make your own experiences and see how they go. Anyway, I'm Tim. You're Ray.
I'm Ray.
The box is closed. We're going. Bon appetit. Yamas. The views and opinions stated by me or any of my guests are solely those of ours and do not necessarily reflect the opinions of our hosting companies, distributors, enemies, friends, or relatives. This podcast is copyrighted and cannot be reproduced or distributed without express written consent of the man who ate the town, that's me, and Such Limited Inc. However, if you ask nicely, we'll probably let you.